Hey, I'm Carlos Garcia, and today we're getting to Jack Daniel's single barrel proof Ryes because I just picked up the Jack Daniel's Tanyard. And usually it's where I break for a giveaway, but I forgot to copy and paste all the names, so I'll just do 2 announcements on the next video. So I just got the Jack Daniel's Tanyard Hill Rye. This is in a hazmat one. This is 136.5 proof. Santa Claus dropped this off to me. Barrel number 25-05347. So to compare against this one and kind of see, is this really worth the hunt? I have a couple other ones. So I have a regular shelfer, and this is Barrel House 2-03. And this is 134.9 proof. We have a military one that I picked up this year. This one's chosen by Melvin Keebler. This does say 2024, so I might have had it from last year. The bottling date also says 2024. This is Barrel House 1-13, Coy Hill one. And this is a store pick by a local liquor store here. And this is 130.2 proof. And this is Barrel House 2-18. 2-18. This is also 2024. Yeah, a little tater sticker on the side. Save the tatas. No, Riders for the Lost Tatas. I knew tatas was in there somewhere. So the goal is to see if the Tanyard Hill is really worth the extra money, searching, chaos that would be probably required to go get this bottle, as opposed to finding this on every shelf that I see in my liquor stores, in my area anyways. This obviously you can only get at bases, I believe. Pretty sure that's the only place, that's where we got this one. And this is a store pick, which there's a lot of store picks out there. So are any of these better than Tanyard Hill, or is it just that much better? That's what we're gonna find out today. Ah, poop. All right, let's get on the nose on A. So interesting nose on A, not what I expected. And I've had all of these before, 2 of them recently. I've had a Tanyard Hill twice recently, but this was coming off sweet, woody. But the interesting note was campfire smoke, which, all right, I do like that nose, but not what I was expecting. So let's go to B. Well, B is also interesting, and it has a note that maybe some of you guys can relate to. Wow, what am I writing today? So it's lighter than A. It still has a good little bit of woodiness to it, but there was this overpowering note of like the holy water from a Catholic church, which I'm sure most of you guys have no idea what I'm talking about. But when you first enter a Catholic church, there's holy water right there, and that's the nose I'm getting. And I was just at a Catholic church for a baptism not that long ago, so crazy. Yeah, so I don't know. I don't want to say it's a bad note or a good note. It just reminded me specifically of that. All right, let's go to C and see what craziness is coming out of here. Crazy enough, I got that same holy water note on C as well, but a little bit more. So I got the wood, I got the smokiness kind of like from A and the holy water, but I also got a red Jolly Rancher and sweetness. So more sweetness came through on C than B and A. These are not notes. So weird. Get D. Okay, so D is more your prototypical whiskey notes. Didn't get the holy water this time. Like a spicy wood note, sweet, darker than the other 3. You can kind of see a little bit of that holy water note in there, but I will write it down. All right, what I didn't get on any of them was banana, which I usually get from Jack Daniel's products. Let's go to the palate. That was pretty good. So what I don't get a lot is any kind of rye indication. So if I was drinking this like double blind, I don't think I would guess this is rye. I'm not getting any rye notes. Red Jolly Rancher, Starburst, it was very candy sweetness, banana bread, so I did get a little bit of banana, and a wood note on the palate. On the finish, vanilla, sweet, red fruit. Overall, very good, sweet, very definitely on the sweeter side. The linger is kind of like fresh banana cut up. All right, on second sip, not too much of a difference. It's still very sweet, very good. There is a slightest off-putting note on the finish. I can't even explain it. It's kind of like on the back of the tongue. Just something there I'm not the biggest fan of. But we'll see if it's still there on the third sip. All right, so on the third sip, we got some smokiness on the palate and finish. You know, slight, but definitely noticeable. And then I think that off-putting note was a slight herbal note. And So that kind of put it down a little bit, but overall this is wonderful. I like that. And maybe that slight herbal note's actually from the rye, because I didn't get any kind of like a rye indicators at all. Okay, let's go to B. Okay, B is a different experience. It's very drying overall on the palate and finish, so it definitely brings it down compared to A. But the flavors are pretty decent. Woody, sweet, red Jolly Rancher on the palate. On the finish, sweet, woody, red fruit. I wrote drying for both. A little bit of that banana on the linger again. I don't really like the drying aspect of this pour, but overall, okay. It's so funny when a new note could just appear and just dominate after not getting it at all on the first sip, because that's what happened this time. So I started getting a nuttiness on the palate. It wasn't my favorite nutty note, but when I got to the finish, it became hazelnut in a good way. So we'll see what the third sip does. It's still drying. I was still getting the banana on the linger. The nuttiness just came out of nowhere and then just became so strong on the hazelnut. All right, so after the third sip, it's very complex. Every time I go back to it, it's a little bit different. So this time it was much darker just overall, but it still lingers with that banana note every single time. So there's that. But I do think it's a little bit behind A. There was that drying note was just too much on it compared to A. Let's go to C. C is the most soda version of these. So C is so soda forward. Dr. Pepper, cherry cola, sweet, spice, oak. On the finish, oak, sweet, vanilla, spice, cola, vanilla cola. No banana notes so far, but man, so much cola notes. All right, so second sip, a little bit more dryingness, like kind of like B, but not as crazy as B. But I think it's more for the oak, specifically from the oak. A little savoriness on the finish. Overall, pretty good. Curious if I liked A or C better. But the cola notes are just crazy good. Let's try it again. All right, on the third sip, the drying wasn't there on the palate. A little bit on the finish, but on the palate, got a lot more red fruit, vanilla, strawberry. It is great. I really do like C. It's got a lot of oak and a lot of fruit notes with it, and then a lot of cola notes, which isn't something I get a lot. For sure. Interesting. Okay, let's go to D. All right, so D, first sip. Didn't get a whole lot. I definitely got more proof this time. I know they're all around the same proof, but this one just drank a little hotter. Smokiness, wood, vanilla, sweet. So overall pretty good, just not complex like some of these other ones. On the finish, nutty, oak, sweet, spicy. It was definitely spicy. So that second sip won't try to kill me. So my eyes are watery, that's why. More vanilla in the taste, which I wrote vanilla before, but it was coming out a lot more. I did get some herbally notes on the finish, which kind of shows out that rye. So we'll see if the third sip tries to kill me again. So I got a note on the finish that I absolutely loved, like a smoked meat note. Well, I know I'm gonna A-B the crap out of these because they're all pretty close. They're all have their own kind of like parts that I really enjoy from each of them. So it's curious to see how they do. I'll be right back with some results and any new notes. All right, so no shockers actually. So what I was, figuring out what everything was, kind of went exactly how I was thinking, but one of them snuck into the position because going through this way, it wasn't in the position it's currently in. Anyways, a lot of nonsense came out of my mouth just now. The heat is still on my tongue, let me tell you. If you want to get 2-ounce samples of all 4 of these, like the video, subscribe to the channel, and comment with capital letters JDRYE25. All right, so in last place is barely, I will admit, is the Shelfer. The regular Shelfer came in last place with a score of 3.4. Now, I'm scoring these against each other, and so the scoring kind of goes against each other. Whereas I think this was my Rye of the Year last year, or at least it was in that discussion of Rye of the Year last year, because there's actually the Nulu one. And the Cell Spirits I think was second. So, but since these came out a couple years ago, these have been in my top 5 Ryes every single year. I absolutely love this whole profile of these bottles. That's why I have a bunch of them. Okay, so then we go to third place, and that's the pick, right? Yep, okay. So the pick that was kind of drying, and it was in fourth place. This is what I'm talking about, the positioning thing, because I actually had these backwards, but going back and forth, this one was much darker than the rest, and I really enjoyed that darker profile. Maybe just because it's different, but I scored a 3.45, so it kind of barely beat out the Shelfer, but a great pick nonetheless, and I really enjoyed it. Then it came down to the Heroes versus the Tanyard Hill, and the Tanyard Hill really won this pretty easily. So I scored this a 3.9, and I got smoked meat on the finish this time, kind of where I was getting it on the Shelfer. So just those cola notes are just so tasty, and there's no off-putting notes on it. It was really good. So is it worth the hype? Sure. It's not the hazmat one that, you know, people are going crazy for. I knew this is going to be good. I absolutely love the Jack Daniel's profile, especially in the rye, the barrel proof ryes. Right up my alley for sure. So I knew I had to get this, and I didn't think I was gonna get it. Then Santa dropped it off for me. So I appreciate you, Santa. And in second place was the Hero selection, and this scored a 3.6. Decent score. It is really good. Really good, but this is kind of like how I thought they were gonna line up. I will say, if you miss out on the Tanyard Hill and you can go pick up one of these at your shelf for like $65-ish, is it that big of a difference? Maybe a little bit on the profile, but this is such a good rye that I don't think you're gonna lose too much sleep about not getting this, so I will say that. Would I pay secondaries pricing for this? Probably not. You guys know me. I'm a degenerate, so it's possible I would. But now that I have a bottle, I doubt I will go get another bottle. I do really like it. I do think it's the best one. The store picks and the regular shelfers, and you know, if you have access to the base ones, they're all so good that I think that you can let this one go and go get one of these and be very happy with it. I can't say that with the other on the bourbon side so much, but the rye side, I think they're close enough. Now, maybe the hazmat ones that everyone's reviewing because they got the free samples from Jack Daniel's, maybe the hazmat ones are just that much better. This is a 136.5 proof. It's very good. I do like it. I do expect it to be in my top 10 ryes of the year for sure. Probably top 5, I'm sure top 3. Tell me what your favorite ryes of 2025 is. I do have a couple coming in. So I spent New Year's Eve and New Year's Day with my wife's family's house. And so I brought a bunch of bottles over there that were fringe, or maybe they're brand new that I knew I needed to check out before the end of the year for my top 25 list. And you know, I'm trying to narrow it down, bring it down to 25. I 100% feel like I have a top 30 for sure. I might do a play-in video. So we'll get to that. It is coming down. I have kind of like been taking stuff out. 2 of them weren't bourbons technically, so I took those out. Like the Old Carter American whiskey that came out this year, batch 15 or 16, I forget. That technically isn't a bourbon, and there was another one. Oh, it was a Rare Character batch 2. Which was a straight whiskey, which had a mixture of bourbon and American light whiskey. So I took that one out of the list. But I am going to do like a whiskey top list. So they'll just go there. Anyways, don't do nothing stupid. And if you do, don't get caught. Bye.